this off. Right, welcome back everybody. So we've been looking at figure drawing over the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue looking at that, and as I mentioned last week, we're going to be using some inks and water and round brush as well. And if you have any charcoal, I haven't got any out at the moment. If you've got any charcoal, you can use some of that, or you can just stick with your pens as well. It's something I came up with the idea today to use charcoals. So I understand if everybody hasn't got any charcoal, so we can use the pens like we used before, which is absolutely fine. And I actually did that the first time I did the drawings we're going to do. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different to what we've done before. So we've worked quite tightly using a grid before to get accuracy and shape. So there's a certain amount of safety and security within the idea of using a grid, because obviously you're getting all the shapes and everything exactly where they should go within the picture space. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to do some gesture drawing. So gesture drawing is kind of a drawing exercise that gets you to learn how to see and how to look and coordinate what you see with what comes out through your hand. So it's quite a rapid thing, and you're kind of looking at the overall image in order to put some marks down. So there's two ways of approaching this. The first one that we're going to try is called mass gesture drawing, which means that you're going to put in the tones and shadows first of all using your brush and ink, and then you can build in with some darker tones with that as well. Hold on a second. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to try line gesture drawing as well. So mass is where you're trying to show the form, the effect of the light falling on the subjects, in this case figures, and then the line drawing is about adding perhaps some quite nice loose marks, but also adding some different kind of details such as outlines and so forth. Okay, so I'll show you what I've been looking at today. So I have done mainly two gesture drawings. I've used this drawing just here and this one of mother and child. They're already kind of gesture drawings, but I've done my own interpretation of these as well today. So this one, you can see that there's lots of tone and shadow and thick line, and it's mostly done with the tone and shadow to describe the shape and form and the effect of light falling on this boy holding, I don't know if he's holding a flag or something like, I don't know what he's doing. And then over here we've got and that's actually, this is a Rembrandt drawing over here. I don't know who this one's by, but I did this one after that this morning. And again, you've got the tonal areas, and then we've got these lovely curvy, quite loose lines around the subject as well, which is a really nice way to work. So basically these techniques are going to get you to loosen up a little bit, perhaps work a little bit quicker as well, and I'm going to give you a certain amount of time to do each of those exercises as well. So it feels a bit nervy to begin with, I guess, but it's forcing you to look quicker, to make marks quicker, and to coordinate your eyes with the marks that you're making on the page, but it's also getting you to loosen up, as I said before. So I'll show you on my studio desk. That was a bit dark. I think we can just lighten up a little bit. Does seem a little bit dark. Bring it over. A little bit better. Right. So last week then we used this lovely grid over here. So as I said before, some people don't get along with grids. Some people absolutely love it because it helps them to do exactly what they want to do. So last week, as you remember, I was talking about mark making and texture as well, and the difference between the different pens. So I was using a draw or a uniball pen, and I was also using a biro as well. So different parts of it. This is the uniball pen here, and this is the biro. Talking about the softness of the pen with a biro, and also the fact you can do much harsher marks with this pen. So that was a very controlled drawing, and then we go over to here's a couple of examples of very quick gesture drawings that I did. So you can see there's quite a difference here. So it's more about the expression of the line and the movement within them. So that was the same. I did the same one twice there, and then you'll remember this picture of the lady as well with her baby. I'll just close that off and bring that one up. So there we go. Just bring that over a little bit. So we've got obviously an interpretation of it, if you like. So with this one, and this is what I'd like you to have a go at today, is we've got not this image, but you might have your own image with you, is that I started off just with the tones and shadows and then worked back over the top and added my own loose marks using the charcoal to add further details. And then of course you can go back into it afterwards if you've finished with the lines too. So it's getting a bit more, it's gone a bit. So there we go. You can see that one. So I'm going to do an example one now so that you can see what I'm talking about. I've got this young man here that I wanted to do, and he's run off now. So I'm going to put him on the screen and I'll work from the screen so you get an idea of what I'm doing. As you can see, I did them a couple of times. So you don't need a lot of ink. This is actually Indian ink that I've got here that I bought from, it's a Winsor and Newton bottle of ink. That bottle is quite a big one and was a little bit expensive, but it will last for a very long time. So, you know, a smaller one is just as good. Let's just go over again, sorry. So there's the ink, and you'll need some water as well. Got a jar of water over here, and when you start doing this, what you want to do is start with a very pale colour or pale tone of the ink. So mix some water with it. But it's nice and light. It looks a bit dark on the screen, but it's quite light here. Give it a test at the corner, and then let's see how I get on working from the screen. So make it a bit bigger. So you're almost drawing a little bit like you're just using a pencil in a sense, really. So look at the tones and shadows to begin with. And as loose as you like, really, add in those marks or those shadows and lines. And treat it almost like you're just doing a drawing. So if you start lightly to begin with, you'll be able to add darker tones on top. The problem comes, of course, when you add the tones too dark to begin with, and then it's difficult to remove those without using some white charcoal or something like that.
Can I ask a difficult question?
You can.
Is there any reason why we shouldn't do that initial outline in something like an 8B pencil and then go into the ink afterwards?
Yes, because the reason for it is I'm getting you to it basically this puts you on edge a little bit because there's nothing there already to guide you. So essentially, it's forcing you to look at the subject a little bit more closely as you're painting it or drawing it in this case. And if you haven't already got outlines on there, it's going to free you, well, hopefully it's going to free you up a little bit and require that you you put a bit more energy into your work as well. So with you saw my drawings from earlier. Let's just bring that out. You saw my drawings from earlier. They have a little bit more energy perhaps than in Mark's, than maybe the one that I showed you before that I did last week. So it's about getting a bit more energy and looking and concentrating on the tone and shadow and taking a little bit of a risk and seeing what happens. We had some really good results in class today, so we'll see how we get on. So this is called mass. It's called mass gesture drawing because I'm literally looking for the tones and the shadows within the picture and adding those in as I go along. So as I said, start lightly and you can build that in. You can build in more tone as you go along and of course more detail. And the nice thing is, and this is probably goes back to the idea of why can't I draw it out first, is you can make corrections if you started quite lightly first. So every time I do it, or I do any type of drawing like this, I will always notice bits that I haven't noticed before or bits that have gone a little bit wrong and that I can then work back into. The other thing to note is that when you put the ink down on the page, it does often look a little bit darker than it's going to when it's dry. And that I think is just the water magnifying the tone a little bit. If you've got watercolor paper, that's also quite nice to use because it's obviously designed for this sort of work, but it's not essential. I've used this cartridge paper all day. You only have to be careful that it you don't go through the paper by overworking it, but generally we're not working too hard on it anyway. So I'm just going to start putting in a few more smaller details. It's not focused, is it?
Yeah, are we supposed to be starting?
No, I'm still I just wanted to do this just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. And then what we do after this is we'll be going back over it with a line. So you can see now that I've changed a little bit with the lines that I'm using, or with the marks that I'm using. Has everybody managed to find a photo from the website? Because I put on some instructions about how to get those pictures
because I
printed.
don't get the website.
Sorry?
No,
Oh, you
because
don't get the website, right? Okay.
it's a nuisance.
Yeah, you're still not getting the emails.
Various people have looked at it, but can't do it. Everybody else has come through. I can get the link from New Zealand.
From New Zealand? Oh, yeah. From your daughter, yeah.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
it does
exactly,
seem like
it's-
a long-winded way of getting a link, doesn't it?
Yes, but I mean, I'll get this lesson perhaps in about 4 days' time. Never mind. I'm enjoying it. It's all a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Things are achieved not by brilliance, but by perseverance.
That's right.
What was the trick about getting your Jamie's image on the whole screen last week? Did somebody say you hold it down or?
What's that? Sorry, keeping me on screen while I'm working?
Yeah.
Right. If you go to if you roll over the picture that's got me on it, and then click on the 3 dots if you've got that, and then click pin, then I will stay on screen. Yeah.
Can't find pin. No, don't worry. Thank you. Right.
There we go. It's a little bit blurry still, isn't it?
Image that looks like a semicolon with little dots underneath.
Right. Okay. So has everyone got the general idea about what we're doing?
Sort of.
Because I'm aware now, I've been doing this a little while. So remember, you're learning to look, you're looking at the overall sort of image and trying to translate that onto the page quite quickly. So I'm going to give you a limited amount of time in which to produce your drawing, and then we're going to do a second one as well. Now, if you haven't got a picture, what I'll do is I'll make sure that this stays on screen if you want to do this one. So you can see how I've built up the different layers on here. Quite a big sleeve. I keep making the sleeve a little bit smaller than it is. And his head comes out a bit further. There we go. Right, that's it. That'll do. Okay, so right, okay. I'm just going to see if I can get that in focus a bit more. It's not very good, is it? Not sure what's going on there. Right, okay, so that's about my fourth go at that today. So there's one that I did, and there's probably the first one that I did over there. So we're going to start off then by just using the brush and tones and shadows on here to produce a copy of either this, or if you've got one at home of your own that you've already found, or indeed if you go on the internet onto the website, you may be able to put one on screen if you can't print it and work from that. Okay, how is everybody fixed for images and things? Just so that I know. Yeah, we got one thumbs up. I'll just come over so I can see everyone. Hold on. Gallery. Right, put your thumbs up if you've got so. Oh, you've started already. That's good. Thumbs up. Sasha, you all right there? Yeah, okay. Yeah, excellent. I'm not sure I can see everyone. 6, 9, 12, 11. Yep. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to have a go. Yeah, 5 minutes. I can see people going, what? So 5 minutes roughly for you to have a go at putting the tones and shadows on the image you're working from. Hands up if you're working from the one on the screen. Is anyone doing that? 1 from the boy. Yeah. 2 people working the screen. Right, that's a good reason to leave it there then. Okay, I'll lock him in place. Brilliant. I'm going to see if I can get this thing. That's better. Seems to have got it a bit sharper now. Brilliant.
Oh dear. Honestly.
So I've got this really nice book as well, which is ancient, really. It's not ancient, but it's older. It's called A Contemporary Approach to Drawing, and it's by somebody called Claudia Betty, and it's full of different exercises you can do regarding drawing techniques, and it has got a whole section on this type of drawing, gesture drawing. So it's got this little bit here. It's quite well written, so I thought I'd read a little bit. There are 2 basic approaches to drawing, both involving time. The first is a quick, all-encompassing overview of forms in their wholeness. The second is an intense, slow inspection of the subject, a careful examination of its parts. So we're looking at, so this is the close inspection, the one that we worked on last week. And now we're doing the all-encompassing overview of forms in their wholeness. So try and keep that in mind as you work. The gestural approach to drawing is actually an exercise in seeing. The hand duplicates the movement of the eyes, quickly defining general characteristics of the subject. So movement, weight, shape, tension, and so on. So this is what I'm talking about. It's getting that sense of your hand moving across the page and creating quite an energetic drawing, but one that has got weight and shape and tension in it as well. So your first glance is a rapid scanning of the picture in its entirety, and then you begin searching out hidden parts. So this is what I've been doing just now with you. When I did that drawing, was I was just looking generally over the whole image to get an idea of the general parts of the picture, and then I started to move in a bit closer with all the details and so forth. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to have a look at line, but we're going to do one more after this one using the same mass gestural technique. Oops. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. One thing I did as well earlier is I found it much easier to do this standing up because you get a much more of a higher view of what you're drawing as well, so you can see it from a better angle. I'll give you about another minute. How is everybody getting on? How's everybody doing?
Boo.
Oh gosh, yes, look. There he is. There's one up there, Eves. And another one down there, Mary.
Very good.
Yeah, well done. Wow, this is great. Good stuff. Right, okay, I'm going to stop you there. And I'm going to stick another one on. So you can do this one if you like, or if you've got one. Okay, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a choice. Hang on, to be fair, look, I've also got this one. Hang on, let me just put that one away. Also got that one. Right, got to select it first so I can move it. Let me do it. Padlock. Right. There we go. Would you like that one? Or would you like the other one that I had on screen a minute ago?
No, that one.
This
No.
one? No?
No, the other one.
This
Lady
one?
on the phone. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, to give you an idea, that's the one, that's my version of it from earlier today.
Take it away. We'll do the best we can. We don't want to look
So-
at what you did, Amy, on this.
All right,
Oh, gosh.
I'll put him back on. So, remember, you're looking at the shapes where the shadows are. Don't worry if they're not in the right place. You should start with lighter ink to begin with, and then as you progress, you can darken areas down and make adjustments and corrections. So this is what I was talking about. Even with the grid, you notice things more as you learn more about them. So keep looking as you progress and make those changes that you need to. I will do another one for a few minutes while you're doing that.
Your head's in the way, Jamie.
Oh, beg your pardon. It's because I'm standing up now. Sorry.
Oh, heck. Can't see a hand.
So when you're looking at details like hands and stuff, try not to get bogged down with those details. Look more at the shadows that are cast on the hand as well. And even just draw, particularly at this stage, just use very light lines to indicate where the fingers are without really getting involved with too much detail, if you can.
Yeah, the picture's actually gone off the screen at the moment.
Sorry?
The picture, oh, that's better.
Yeah, it's when I'm not talking.
Okay.
And if you pin me, I don't know if you know how to do that. You can pin me on the screen so I don't.
You're back on now.
Yeah, okay.
Have you looked at Phil?
All right.
Jamie,
Yeah.
can she's got locked out?
Oh,
Can you
right.
let her
Yeah.
back in?
Sure. No worries. I'll let her back in. There we go.
Thank you.
That's all right. Did it go offline or something?
Well, the pinning bit, I just couldn't do it on my other iPad, so I thought I'd try a different one.
Oh,
And
swapped
also-
over.
Ah, on iPad, can she? It's different.
Oh, what do you do on an iPad then?
You find the square with Jamie, and you
Yeah.
double tap it quite quickly, and then it comes up with the pin option.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder I was struggling. Thank you.
Yeah, often comes up that, doesn't it? How to do it.
Surprising what I've learned how you can do on what you can do on an iPad.
Yeah.
Mm.
Jamie,
Yeah.
would you mind chatting? Because the picture.
Oh,
keeps
sorry. Yeah.
disappearing.
So I come straight up then. You better now. Right. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, stop there. Now go back to your original drawing. Let's put myself back on. Dear oh dear. Keep knocking things in here. Right. Okay, so go back to your first drawing then, and you'll need something to draw lines with next. So just trying to find one.
What sort of thing?
Right, so we've got charcoal you can use if you've got charcoal, that is. You can use a biro, a pen like you used last week. You could use either of those things. It's absolutely fine. Some people used, if you've got a dipping pen, you can use a dipping pen as well.
You've gone, Jamie.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'll just I should put music on or something, and then I'll stay on, won't I? Right. Okay.
Hey, Jamie, when we do
Yeah.
our other art class with Kathy, Kathy manages to freeze herself somehow, so she stays on screen the whole time, even if we talk to her
What is this on Zoom or?
on Zoom.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And do you know what it
The only
says?
thing I know is to pin myself on screen, which is what I've done. Other than that, I don't know. I'll have a look in a minute. I'll have a look.
Oh, if necessary, I'll ask Kathy how she does it.
Yeah. Screen share. Can't see anything at the moment. I'll have a look in a minute.
I think it's because every time somebody speaks, their face comes up on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Well, when I pin myself on the screen, that's it. I just see myself there and a few people at the top on here. When I've got speaker view on, it seems to work quite well for me. But I don't know about freeze.
We'll have a word with Kathy and see what she.
So when you say freeze, she freezes herself. Does that mean she's not moving? She's like this?
No.
Oh.
It means that even if we talk to her,
Yeah.
she stays on the screen permanently.
Oh, right. Yeah. The only thing I can think of is I'll have a look. Actually, I'll look it up in a few minutes and find out if I can. So the next thing to do is using either charcoal pen, or if you've got a dipping pen you can use with your inks, is to use the charcoal or whatever it is you're using to add outlines and details in quite a nice loose way. So you can see that I've done that with this drawing, although I used a brush actually and line on here on this one. On the one that you saw me with earlier, this one, I used charcoal over the top, so I just literally looked for the details such as the folding fabric on the lady and around the baby and so forth, and I added quite loose lines into that, and that's actually what you call the line gesture drawing. So we're combining the two together, and that really helps bring the whole picture together a little bit more. And also, of course, because you've got a sharper implement, you can add in some of the details into it as well, such as here I've added a little bit more detail on the eyes. It's not quite the same picture obviously, but as the actual photograph, just put that back on. So there's the original photograph. So it is very different, but the idea is that you're learning to look at the subject a little bit and how to use the mark making as well, or the looser approach to working. It means you can produce more drawings in a much shorter space of time as well, and make lots of studies. But I particularly like it because it produces something different that's come from your hand, and it's expressive and loose and has energy in it as well. And it's a fantastic way to learn how to look and see things too. I'll just put the girl back on for you. So I'm just waiting for my fella to drive. Yeah, do it now. You can work into it while it's a little bit wet. I should be able to do this actually. So I'm just going around the edges of the subject a little bit, because there are quite clear outlines on him. Do have to be careful when I'm using the charcoal, because while it's wet anyway, because it will go through the paper on this. So I'm going to go into the face a little bit. So if you've made some marks and they don't quite match what you're now seeing, then with a line you can go over those areas, and like on this chin here, I wanted to bring the chin in a little bit there, so you can see on the edge that there's a little bit of my tonal work overlapping the line that I've just put in as well. So you can change it as you progress as well, because you're still learning about the subject as you draw. Is everybody okay? Does anyone need any help or anything?
I'm glad you're not leaning over my shoulder.
I did a lot of that today in the other classes.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Oh gosh.
Have a look in a sec, see if I can do anything about that. That would be useful. Look. How during click share.
Oh, sugar.
What's the matter?
I've given her 6 fingers.
Well, 6 is more useful than 5.
Yeah, I miscounted.
Witches used to have 6 fingers,
Did they?
apparently.
Share screen.
That's how they
options,
identified.
multiple tissue share simultaneously.
You've gone, Jamie.
Hello.
Oh,
Enable these features. Click share.
it's amazing how this ink sinks in, actually.
What sort of paper have you got?
Which,
Let's see. Right. Now, I have done something. I don't know if it'll work, but you'll have to let me know if I go off screen again. Can you see me? Can everyone see
Yeah.
me okay?
Yes?
Yeah? If I go off screen, let me know, because I've just
Lot of gadgets at the bottom.
You've gone very tiny on my screen.
have I? I'm already really
What,
small.
what
Aren't
happens if we keep on talking to Jamie?
He goes and has a coffee quickly.
I?
I got here. Oh, go away.
Linda, you've gone blank.
I'm not at all surprised. No, I've got something peculiar come up on the bottom of my screen.
Yeah, you see, it's me. I'm sharing I'm sharing the screen, and it says you are screen sharing.
Actually,
So-
I just double clicked on it and I've managed to
Yeah.
make you bigger now. So it's fine.
Hey! Oh right,
Yeah.
okay.
And that's a bit more what I'm used to. Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
everybody down the side.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So I've got everybody on the screen now at the side, and then you on.
yeah,
It's just a lot of writing at the bottom, but that's more like it.
yeah. I went to this I went to this option, screen share, and then I found the screen that I was on and shared it. So, I don't know. We'll have to see if that works.
I've come up with a funny strip along the bottom that says Planwall Studio, me small video player, window capture. It looks like it's something off your screen, Jamie. Doesn't mean a thing to me.
Yes, I've got the same thing, Linda. It says
Pretties and deactivate all.
Oh yeah, well that'll be. What is that? Zoom you've got on there? You've
Hey,
got my
yeah,
Zoom
it's-
controls showing on the screen.
there's
Yeah.
a floppy microphone.
Yeah, that's me. Oh gosh, I know what I'm sharing now. I'm sharing my software. Right, hang on.
Software everywhere.
That's it. Got rid of it.
Yeah, I know. I got rid of it, but I'm back to square one now.
To how you were before.
Right, hang on. I'll try again. Hold
I
on.
can't get my emails through.
Oh dear. Right, how is everybody getting on anyway?
Yeah.
I can't pin you now.
Right. Oh,
Oh, yeah. What's that?
I am pinned. I
Yeah.
am pinned on there.
I've
So.
got charcoal everywhere.
Oh yes. Right, hang on. Let me have a look. No, no, I can't see the screen now. I can't see advanced files. There's all sorts of things on here I don't know anything about. So, yeah. Optimize for video clip share. No. No, it's that it did that because I'm actually the software actually links with Zoom, so it thinks that I want to share my software with you, which I don't, because
I'll have a word with Kathy and see what she does.
yeah, okay, thank you.
You want to see what we've done?
Yes, I do. I think we're about there now, aren't we? So let's stop because so I've asked you to put lines over the top of your mass line drawing, and so then we're using expressive marks. So let me just go to the gallery and I can see what everybody's been doing. Brilliant. Okay, looks good. So anyone want to make a comment about how they found this exercise?
Brilliant.
Yeah, I
How
think it was
did you-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Of using the inks as well, because and
Yeah.
like as you were saying, you put your marks over.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you made a mistake. You
Exactly.
sort of outline a new shape.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
So yeah, you start with the light inks and then build in with the dark bits. It helps as well if obviously if the ink is a little bit drier when it comes to adding some of the like finer details and things a bit later. But you can do a lot of that, can't you, with the charcoal or the pen or whatever. All right, so you've got you should have 2 drawings. So I'm going to give you the next few minutes to do the second drawing with line. And then what we're going to do is something slightly different, but It involves perhaps using the drawing that you did last week. So we'll have a look at that in a few minutes as well. So is everybody happy to carry on with the second drawing and the lines and everything? Is everybody all right? Does anyone need any extra help or guidance, please? Is everyone all right? Yeah? All good? Okay. By the way, it's been, you may have seen on the Facebook page, a few people have already posted their drawings as well. So it's really nice to see in one place what everybody's been doing as well. So if you feel like doing that, it's lovely to see, and it means we're all talking to each other in a way as well over the internet when we're not together.
Jamie, when you say
Yeah.
post in Facebook, is that the link?
Is that Facebook there, is it? Is it got a bunny at the top with summer classes written on? Or something
It's
like
just
that?
I haven't seen any that have been done today. But you said it's been
Oh,
posted
right.
on Facebook. But
Yeah, I'm sure I saw one at least, or maybe it was from last week.
which is what's making me think I haven't got the right Facebook group.
Yeah, it's live lesson, isn't it, with Jamie?
Because the only one I've got is that Jan had put hers in like that.
Yeah, Jan.
That was last
Oh,
time.
that was last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure I
haven't
saw
got
another.
any
Maybe I saw it somewhere else. I'll have a look. Hang on. Oh yeah, I've got the same actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, but that's why I thought that, because if you look down at Mary Newcomb has put one on from last week, and it said one of them is a little bit like what we've been doing today. So
Right.
yeah, but yeah. Anyway, just if you fancy doing it, please put them on, because it is really great to see how everyone's getting on, and I can actually get a little bit more detail too. And if you ask me questions on there, I can give you some feedback. Or if you want to just message me on Messenger, send your pictures to Messenger privately, then I can also look at it and comment on it too.
Naomi,
Yeah.
can you show us what you did with the boy?
Yeah. What, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That was the first one I did today. There's the boy as well. Bring him in a bit more. Yeah, there's some charcoal lines on there. So is that okay? Can you see that?
Thank you.
I might swap these two around actually. Oh no, I'm gone. Never mind. Don't suppose anyone minds. So remember, if you get a likeness to what you're doing, that's good. As opposed to something that's absolutely immaculately perfect.
if it's absolutely hideously not like the picture.
If that's the case, just keep going. Keep trying. And we're here to, we're here to try, aren't we? To experiment and things, so and to learn. So. Right, we go for a couple more minutes on this, and then I'm going to show you what's next.
be a pain, Jamie. Can you just talk?
Yeah,
I
sorry. Yeah.
can't be.
Are you doing the girl, are you?
Trying to do the girl.
She's not easy, is she?
And you've disappeared again, Jamie.
Oh. Right, we're about to stop there. So,
Oh, again.
sorry.
I said, here we go again.
Right, I'm still messing around with this one over here, which you can't see at the moment. Right, okay. Now, I'll stop you all there for a second. Now you can go back and carry on with what you're doing. I'm just going to switch off the lady, just there. So now the next thing is to use one of your drawings that you've previously done. If you want to, you can of course start on a completely new drawing. To show you what I mean, I've taken this drawing from last week and I photocopied it, and then I put it against some light and I drew through the paper to get the outline as quickly as possible. So I knew from, you know, my drawing from last week that this one, well, I was quite happy with. So I started actually working directly onto this one. So I've used the inks in the same sort of way that we've used them today already, which is to build up the tone and layer up the tone. And then after that, of course, I can work back into it. So it's not as such a gesture drawing, but it's more about using the ink to add the tone and shadow onto the image. So if you've got a drawing from last week and you'd like to carry on working on that, thing to do is either trace it or put it against some light. And today I did actually say to people, put it against the window if you want to. If you've got some tracing paper or something like that, you could do that. I have a light box here which I've used a few times to do the same thing. On the other hand, of course, which I just mentioned, we can draw a new one. So I've decided to work from this picture of a torso again. Yeah, so I drew this picture out a little bit earlier on today, and so I drew out the main shapes quite quickly, so it's almost like a gesture drawing in a sense, but then this evening I just worked back over it with inks. This picture I decided just to, while it was dry of course, add some charcoal details back over the top, emphasising some of the shadows and things on there as well, which doesn't take me too long. Figure actually looks a little bit slim on here because the screen got slightly squashed, needed adjusting, but never mind. Okay, so I've got the picture on screen just there, and in just a few minutes I start working in using the inks. So again, the idea is to work lightly with the inks to begin with, and then to build the shadow in as the drawing progresses. So it's a little bit different obviously to the drawings that we've done previously in this lesson, which are gesture drawings, in that I've already marked out the details of the figure that I've put in the shapes and so forth, and then I'm adding the tone and shadow using the ink. So it's a different exercise in experimenting quite loosely with the inks. And you see it doesn't take, I mean I know this is speeded up, but it doesn't take too long to start to see the form and structure of it. And indeed, as you start to progress, like I said earlier, you start to learn more about where the tone and shadow is in the picture and how to create that sense of shape and form. The image looks slightly lighter on here because I had the light shining down on it, but I think I'll move or change it a little bit later on as we progress. So you can see now some darker tones going back over the top. And the interesting thing to note, of course, we mentioned during the lesson, is that the inks do go down and they do look quite dark, but as they dry they get a little bit lighter, which then encourages you to push in a bit more carefully, perhaps, some more of the tonal work, some darker shadowy work into there as well. It's quite nice to work on a slightly bigger scale for this one too. Working on larger scales gives you the opportunity to look even more closely at the detail. There we go. Darker shadows in there again. And occasionally I find myself using my finger just to blot things out, but you can of course use a paper towel or a J cloth or something like that, just to take off excess water or ink that you don't want there at that point. So I did do that a few times as well. Here I was using a slightly smaller brush, but before I was using a larger brush of a size 10 to start me off, because it was a bigger piece, so I needed a slightly bigger brush. There you go, there's my finger going in there again. It's quite nice to work on detailed parts of the body as well in this way, I find. And you'll see me hopping around between different areas of the picture as well, so I'm not just staying in one area, I'm looking at the whole picture all at once, or the whole image all at once. So I can see the whole picture and the whole of the tone and shadow building as part of the same thing rather than just individual areas. So we're looking at the whole picture. That's it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this lesson, a little bit different and quite challenging. But as we were talking after the lesson, a lot of people found that they had this anxiety about starting off with the gesture drawing, because there's just this great uncertainty about how the marks are going to fall, are they going to work, are they going to be in the right place, and so forth. But once you get started, it's quite enjoyable seeing things come together, and a lot of people really had good fun doing this gesture drawing, and then perhaps working into an older, more established drawing to start with. So next week a little bit of acrylic and some other little bits as well, so I look forward to seeing you next time. Oh, there goes Scout. See you soon.